Welcome to another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. This is your brother Old Guy from Hip Hop News Uncensored. And sitting across from me is my co-host.
What it do? What's good? It's your brother saying, man, viral hip hop news. It's a Thursday evening. We are in the building. Another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. Oh God, what's good, my brother?
What's popping today, man? Everybody listening on YouTube. Peace to y'all. Also, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play. We blazing through your speakers today on this Thursday episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. My brother Sam Manson in the building, man. We got a dynamic lineup today. R. Kelly's daughter released a statement about her father. Also, if y'all didn't know, they're planning on releasing a documentary on Michael Jackson, claiming that he had a relationship with minors as well. So we're going to talk about the NFL playoffs as well as some other things today. We're getting it in today, Sam, man. Let's do it.
It's been great for the brand. What a great way to start 2019 off and blazing for the Uncensored Truth Podcast, man. We're only a week in. It feels like we're 3 months in, man. It's just tunnel vision all the way through. Shout out to everyone that's supporting us on Viral Hip Hop News Uncensored, and of course, the Uncensored Truth Podcast official channel on YouTube. If you're not subscribed to all three of those, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to all three of those. You're going to get content, different content on all three of those. That's a special thing. Content Kings is what we call ourselves. Really excited about this show, oh God. So yeah, man. What we got on the platter first, brother?
Yeah, man. Well, first, the playoffs is coming up this week. Definitely can't wait, to see those games. But it's a lot of news going on, man. We've been talking about the R. Kelly situation all week.
Yeah, man. Nausea.
Last night, he was spotted in the club in Chicago. Y'all see the video, right there on the screen, singing, his lungs out, looking unbothered. Supposedly an incident that went down with a fake warrant that went down, but he's good. He's out. It's been a lot of false people putting false stories out there, but not bothered. Sitting in the club. But his daughter, man, story's just coming out that his daughter, did release a statement about her father, and this one right here is pretty disturbing. So R. Kelly's daughter, Buka Abby, released a statement after the Lifetime documentary dropped. And she's pretty much said, going through all I have gone through in my life, I will never want anyone to feel the pain I felt. The same monster you are all confronting me about is my father. I am well aware of who he is and what he is. I grew up in that house. She also expressed empathy and sympathy for the alleged victims of her father. Sam, man, what do you think now about R. Kelly's daughter coming in front of the people and calling her father a monster? What are your initial thoughts? This is just, dropping momentarily.
This entire thing is a circus. And in the circus, we get sight and lose sight of the real issue at hand, and that's molestation and pedophilia. Now, whether or not you agree or disagree with the allegations against R. Kelly, whether you agree or disagree with the false marriage license between Aaliyah, the sex tape, the numerous sex cult allegations, no matter what side you on, a lot of the main focus that should be put on the molestation victims and the victims from pedophilia, the real victims. And we're talking about the smear campaign going on with R. Kelly. You got false warrants at birthday parties. He's singing and dancing, numerous women around, unbothered, unfazed about the situation. You got everyone talking about it. Mute R. Kelly. R. Kelly's being railroaded. It seems like a big distraction to me. I think day 4 or 5 of this circus that we're in right now. We're in the media. We pride ourselves in giving the best media, the most objective media out here on YouTube and wherever else you're watching or listening. But this is really getting tired. We're tired of watching this and listening to this. This is a broken family. We've seen this from day one. We've seen when his brother came out years ago about his brother R. Kelly. We've seen it in the documentary, if you didn't watch it, the docuseries, or the various interviews his brother has done, when he says him and R. Kelly were molested at 16 by their sister. You heard the various things on his broken childhood, being molested now with seemingly numerous times, and then the allegations brought on to him. Broken family, real disloyal, not a lot of loyalty going on. Real sad. Now you can only imagine for the girl and sympathize for the young lady, his daughter, because she was a child going through this, probably hearing things in school, social media, probably hearing the most wild shit you can imagine. You remember, we hear wild things, giving our perspective. You can only imagine what that child is hearing as the daughter of R. Kelly. So real sad situation. A circus is what it is, man.
Any chance that she's being manipulated? Because this was her father And now she's coming out in the media and calling him a monster, almost like it was on planned time to keep this narrative, kind of going. We see that person for prosecution in a number of states for R. Kelly doesn't look like that's going anywhere. What do you say about like the timing of everything that's coming out right now? It's kind of crazy.
Well, what do you how many situations in Hollywood where have we seen children of Hollywood celebrities, music celebrities come out and say or confirm negative information about their parent because of an estranged relationship with their parent? They don't seem like they're very in good terms. She could be going and harboring feelings toward her dad that may be stemming from something that we have no idea about, and being asked a question and knowing in today's age that's going to turn into a headline. Oh yeah, dad, I'm gonna grab some attention on your ass today and say some wild shit. Or she could be 100% telling the truth. It's a circus, man.
I mean, we know that she also revealed that they pretty much, had like you said, a bad relationship. They haven't really spoken like that in years, or at least had a relationship, in years. But I mean, the R. Kelly, this thing goes back, because remember a few months ago we reported that his legal team, I think, walked away. A few members of his legal team.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are starting to say that R. Kelly's untouchable at this point. I'm seeing, the comment section. He's in Chicago, right in the middle, the hood, where it's going down at, unscathed, unbothered. If R. Kelly was doing all this stuff to all these young girls, like, where's the people at to put hands on this dude or something like that?
Well, let's keep it real. Unless they could prove that he's a pedophile or a molester right now, what do they have on him? A sex cult. You got to prove that. And who is going to sit there and prove that him defecating in buckets or peeing in cups is not nasty sexual acts and just taboo relationships or taboo behavior that you may not agree with, but is condoned in other places? Who's to say? That's a real gray area right there. So when you talk about women of age, no matter what you think or not about the situation or when they were grabbed up or whatever have you, we don't know. And unless there was a parent or somebody coming forward during the actual act at hand, when that baby was 15, 16 years old and got grabbed up, why you weren't saying anything then, why you're saying something at 19 is mind-blowing to me, but whatever. If you didn't say anything then, how are you going to prove it? Because that's where the pedophilia and molestation comes into play. If they're 18, 19, legally in the United States of America, that's of age for any man of the age of 18 and older. So if he's 50, 60 years old, don't matter. 18 is legal. Mm-hmm. So what is he going to get charged for? Making a woman shit in a cup? Like, nasty, but illegal?
Is, like, the bottom line with this whole thing, and what people are not going to say, but we're going to say it on Uncensored Truth, podcast, is that R. Kelly put this out in everybody's face that he was into young women. We know he married Aaliyah.
Pied Piper.
He was the Pied Piper. He said he even a lot of people didn't talk about this, but he made a lot of different references in the song. Did he write ain't nothing but a number?
Hell yeah, he wrote that.
I mean, there's so many different things where he showed exactly who he was. We had people we brought on the show from Chicago. They came out and they said that people know that he was hanging out and young spots with young women where people knew they did nothing. They still rock with him. They still like his music. They love his music. His music. He's getting more and more people are now streaming his music. He's making more money because of this, what's going on right now. So I don't even see how it's really hurting him unless these charges come through with prosecution. But other than that, I don't see how this is really hurting him, man. He's doing what he wants. And now his name is now trending each and every day. And that only can equate to dollars for that brother, period.
A lot of us brothers like to read the 48 Laws of Power and various books on just consciousness and things like this. And if people are really paying attention right now, you got a real playing polarity going on. You got one side versus the other. And both sides of the equation, good or bad, when you got attention, it ultimately leads to the good for the person that you got attention on. It's the people that's attention seeking. Donald Trump, another prime example. A lot of people hated him, despised him. You hear nothing but negative. Anything he said, he pissed them off. And they thought that they were helping the situation by doing the negative. And then come election night, you found out that all that negative did nothing but fuel the people quietly up under him that absolutely loved him. And they came out in drones to support him. Same thing goes for R. Kelly right now. You do this docuseries, all these disgusting allegations, everything that's been out there for years and years and years on end. You come out now, You fuel a society who's thirsty and just driven and obsessed with information, in particular negative information. So you just rebuttal and just regurgitate the same information that's been out there for years, and you put faces behind it now. And we have a fresh situation where R. Kelly's a monster. Meanwhile, his numbers are growing. He just celebrated a birthday in front of a sold-out packed crowd with looking like nothing but women in there. Nothing but women in there.
Phones out and everything.
Happy as can be.
Yep.
So it just circus.
Yeah, definitely, a circus. So, like, again, we'll continue to keep you, updated on new developments as they happen with this R. Kelly case. Sandman, kind of tying into this one. I want to, everyone want to talk about it, but I just want to get your initial thoughts, on this. There's been a lot of speculation and rumor, out there now. People are now dragging Jay-Z's, name into this, and they're bringing Foxy Brown. They're bringing references from the Picasso Baby song where Jay-Z, I think, said, I never stuck my cock in Fox's box, and kind of people thinking that he's referring to Foxy Brown. People are saying, just throwing it out there, that Jay-Z allegedly may have had an underage relationship with Foxy Brown, or had intercourse with Foxy Brown when she was a teenager. This is what people are saying. You have any knowledge about that?
That's fucking dope. I'm sitting here thinking about Picasso Baby. I never stuck my cock in the Fox's box, but damn if I ain't open Pandora's box. They trying to slander your man on CNN and Fox. My Mirandas don't stand a chance with cops. Damn, that was dope. Well, if you remember when the first interaction I actually had with Jay-Z, I remember watching MTV and watching him and Foxy Brown on I forgot the song "I'll Be Good to You," and I thought they were together. For years, I thought them two were together. Now, the only way that we had information and media disseminate to us was through the Source, through the Vibe. We had to grab the magazines on Saturday morning when our grandparents went out and we grabbed stuff. We were hopefully fortunate enough to grab a magazine or two and listen and watch like that, or MTV, where they gave you selective information. It was nothing like today. So we had mere speculation. And if you weren't close to that situation, or you weren't an adult like we weren't at the time, all you had was, all right, yeah, they were together, until you found out otherwise. Weren't paying attention to age. Weren't mindful of that. We seen Foxy Brown. We thought she was bad. We were trying to get in the draws at 10, 11 years old. Like, 12, 13, growing men. You know what I mean? So same thing goes with Aaliyah. We weren't really mindful of her age because we were in the same age group. Same thing for Beyonce. When you start seeing different videos and seeing different things, it starts kind of, as a man, you go, oh, damn, well, he might have been a little old for. Was she 16? Was she 17? Was she 18? I mean, who knows? A lot of people said in Destiny's Child that Beyonce was a lot older than what she claimed to be. We've seen that often, especially in the 90s with groups and things like that, because 25 was the cutoff. So if you were anything like 19, 20, you weren't appealing. You had to go younger. So you've seen that a lot in especially in music. So you really don't know how old a lot of these males or females were.
Right.
Interesting perspective. If you look down at the Jay-Z's paper trail, if you really want to get deep, we don't know if he was with Foxy. He did like Aaliyah. We heard Dame Dash allude to it. We all knew that. And he did get with Beyonce, two younger women at the time. So I don't know what the ages are. He's quiet as shit. We ain't never going to know from him. Right. Unless Foxy comes out and says something. Who knows, man? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at an article, where in 2013, Foxy Brown was threatening to sue over Jay-Z, rumors, because back then it kind of heated up once again. We really don't know, yet. I think Dame Dash was asked a question about that on Nick Cannon show, not about the age thing, but no, that was about Aaliyah. Scratch that, but other people I've seen talking about this, on YouTube, and kind of brought this this topic up, and I think a brother named Choke No Joke, was kind of, I didn't see his full live, but he was kind of dabbling with this topic, per se. So, I don't know. I mean, in the next few days, I would definitely be looking into it. And, if there is, if that is the case, we'll definitely, speak about it in front of the people.
Yeah. I mean, Jay-Z always has this mystique and aura and aura about him of like the unknown and the unsolved. When you talk about Rockefeller, his perspective is open-ended. So we only get Dame. So we only get one side. So it's always like, well, we really don't know. This situation, he didn't want to talk on behalf of, or just want to speak in the docuseries, which I can understand. I don't put anything on him for that. But then you see a paper trail for him and little things, the whole Hillary Clinton, supporting Hillary Clinton, and just a number of things so quiet about, and such a mystique about him. So I don't see him coming out and saying a damn thing about this. I see him being just as quiet as he always been. And I see that being a situation that eventually will probably be brushed under the rug. in regards to Jay-Z. He's not worried about what we're saying on YouTube. He's not worried about what they're saying in the comments.
Well, you got Star, former Hot 97 personality, one of the OGs per se, when the game was asking a question. I think he had a video titled Does Foxy Brown Have a Story to Tell? Unless she releases a statement or pops up on one of these platforms and looking for some type of special attention, which I doubt. I think she's pretty content where she's at. Even if it was the case, I don't see her coming out. But people are, and this conversation about molestation is bringing a lot of things, to the light. I wouldn't be surprised to see it happen, but I doubt it.
Yeah, with the Me Too movement, sexual assault, or molestation, we got. I mean, our whole show's shit. If you look at it, we're talking about another piece of trash in another segment. Then we got another situation where a legend is being railroaded in his death. So it's just where society is today. They know that button to push is sex, sexual orientation, like our brothers were saying yesterday on the podcast. We did that Impromptu podcast, and brother Darren, brother Kansu over at Blur Media, Blur Planet, they were giving their perspective and saying that it's just funny how the media is driving things in a negative way. So yeah, man.
Definitely, man. But you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother God and Sam, man. Going in today on this Thursday. Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow night at 8 p.m. We're going to be going live on Hip Hop News Uncensored for our every week show that we pop off our live show in front of the people, man. Also, if you're listening on YouTube, I need y'all to do me 2 favors. As always, hit that like button and make sure that you share this video. All right, man. Once again, this molestation stuff, man. Michael Jackson has been dragged once again, and this is to the statement that people say, let these people rest in peace. Well, these people are not letting Michael Jackson rest in peace. It appears that a new documentary promising unflinching examination of Michael Jackson's child sex abuse allegations will premiere at Sundance this year. Now, the film is titled Leaving Neverland, and it's pretty much going to be talking about, and I quote, they say, at the height of his stardom, Michael Jackson began long-standing relationships with 2 boys, one age 7 and one age 10. And they're saying that these 2 fellas are now in their 30s and they're coming out to tell their story, but they have not been identified yet. I guess at that time, maybe they will come out. But Sam, man, what do you think? This is breaking news right now, man. Sundance is going to premiere a film about Michael Jackson. They're saying that he had a relationship now with a 7-year-old and a 10-year-old, a sexual relationship. Your initial thoughts?
Disgusting. Ridiculous.
What part?
These are pieces of shit for doing this. This is another failed attempt to try to destroy a man's legacy, a man's name. Now, let's be clear. This situation, the R. Kelly situation, is completely different. Definitely. Michael Jackson has been he's been hit with this stigma of being a pedophile since we were alive. You know what I mean? So we've heard this throughout, but he's maintained his innocence. And kind of like I was alluding to in the other segment, we only had source, we only had vibe, we only had sources, certain sources of media to give us our information. So we weren't able to look at a YouTube or be able to research what Michael Jackson was talking about in regards to the evilness in Sony or the pro-black issues he was discussing out here that no one ever knew about. All we knew is that he loved chilling with Macaulay Culkin. He had fucking monkeys and roller coasters. So we automatically assumed that he was stuck in this mindset of being children or being with children. So it was easily manipulated. And then you ask the question, why? Well, when you own the Beatles catalog and you own your own masters and you own things that they want, now you start raising an eyebrow why they want to slander your name. It makes perfect sense. You look at when he bought the Beatles catalog, I think that was around 1984, 1985. You look at when the allegations started, late 80s, early 90s, your things start really making sense if people start just looking at it in a common sense way. These kids or these grown men coming out now should be ashamed of themselves. There's no way that we could prove this. He's a man that's no longer with us. This is slander on his name. They should try to shut this down, and the people should boo in that Sundance festival.
Well, what we do have is a matter of fact that back in 2003, Michael Jackson, he was tried, but he was acquitted on all 14 counts, but that they were trying to bring him up on, with those children. But he did pay $20 million in settlements out, which is crazy if he was acquitted. But that's a whole another story. But Michael Jackson's estate they left a statement about the film coming out to discredit Michael Jackson. They go on to say this is yet another lurid production in an outrageous and pathetic attempt to exploit and cash in on Michael Jackson. They said Wade Robson and James Safechuck, who was Jackson's companion as a child and sued Jackson's estate over sexual abuse claims, have both testified under oath that Jackson had never did anything inappropriate toward them, Safechuck and Robson. Now, and he also goes on to say the so-called documentary is just another rehash of dated and discredited allegations. It's baffling why any credible filmmaker would involve himself with this project. Once again, we know Michael Jackson was tried, but he was acquitted back in 2005 of all 14 counts that they tried to bring him up against. My thoughts about this film is exactly what they're saying, and I don't know how people are allowed to do this. And because on YouTube, when you put something up and you don't have permission, they can take it down. But it seems like outside of that, they can, like R. Kelly thing, they take his image, they take his likeness, and they make all this money off of it, and they slander a name. So I don't know, if his estate is going to sue. I would hope if they can stop it. I doubt it, but this is crazy right here because again, the stigma now attached to a lot of these guys now, is like sexual predators and no evidence. There's no evidence. And he won.
Zero.
Court.
Zero.
It's crazy.
Yo, let's talk about copyright for a second because there's copyrights and there's laws in place to protect people's identity from slander and various uses of their images or faces or names and things like that to be able to steer narrative. There's laws in place for things like that. Yet you often see this gray area where people are allowed to do it and then be able to paint their narrative and then, okay, it's allowed to be taken back. Like how are these things allowed to even hit the floor? Like controversial topics like this and things like that. Shouldn't it be like, I don't want to say like an arbitration process or something in place to where we make sure that these things that you're coming out with are authentic? Mm-hmm. Or can we generalize the genre different? Because you're putting this out in documentary. And when I hear documentary, I automatically think truth of some kind of historical piece. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of truth being or lies being spread around here. No, I'm not saying I'm saying that R. Kelly is not a pedophile, anything like that. Don't put that in my mouth by any stretch. But you know that there's a lot of people out here doing these for financial gain. And how are they able to do this within the confines of the law? It just really boggles my mind.
First, let me say this. Let's just clarify. I like the expression of media. People should be able to express themselves and do it within the confines of fair use. Whether it be something happened, you want to use somebody's image, to tell a story. That's one thing. But for somebody to just be able to cash in on a film, and paint you as a molester or something like that after you've been in court and been acquitted of that. That should be against the law, and you should be able to sue for defamation, and slander. You definitely should be able to have a case for that, especially if it's unfounded. So, hopefully they will pursue this and get every dime back that Sundance tries to make off of this film.
That's a fact, man. I definitely agree with that.
We're not insensitive to any alleged victims, if indeed they were victims. But right now we have to go with the court. And he's been acquitted of those crimes, so I can't call him a molester at this point. I just can't.
I hear you on that. Agreed.
Yes, sir. But you tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God and Sandman, going in today, on this Thursday evening. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m., we're going to make sure y'all tune into Hip Hop News Uncensored. We're going in live, and we got a special interview we're going to be uploading tomorrow. But yeah, man, that's all I got on my side of the ticket. Sandman, you got anything over there?
I do. We got to talk about this, Old guy, because like I said, all week we've been talking about R. Kelly in nauseum and throughout the comment section, throughout all various comment sections, no matter what platform it's on. We respect everybody who gives their opinion, and we've been hearing this a lot. Why we're not talking about Weinstein? Why we're not talking about the Catholic Church? Why we're not talking about these other white celebrity people out here in the public light doing horrendous things? I had my question on the Uncensored Truth podcast yesterday. If you didn't hear that, go over there to Uncensored Truth right now. You can see that interview in its entirety and hear my question and hear that perspective. But that being said, a federal judge today in California has dismissed Ashley Judge's claim of sexual harassment in her lawsuit against disgraced former mega producer, who else? Harvey Weinstein. But the judges also said Judge can pursue her accusation that Weinstein tried to ruin her career after she rejected his advances. Let me give a little bit of the 1-2. This is courtesy of, let me see where I'm getting this from, NPR.org. Here we go. Weinstein is facing charges of 5 counts of rape and sexual assault at a trial in New York. Later this year, dozens of women have accused Weinstein of rape and sexual misconduct that allegedly took place over decades. Weinstein has said his encounters were consensual and that there have never been sexually assaulted, or he's never sexually assaulted anyone. U.S. Judge Philip S. Gutierrez granted a motion from Wednesday's defense team to dismiss the harassment portion of Judge's lawsuit, agreeing that at the time of the alleged offense, the laws cited in the suit did not cover producers such as Weinstein. Instead, Gutierrez said Judge can continue with the part of her lawsuit that accuses Weinstein of sabotaging job chances for blockbuster projects such as Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings films. It's the second time Gutierrez has dismissed the harassment portion of the suit, having initially done so in September. Judge filed to restore the claim in October after California legislature amended the state's harassment law to specifically include directors and producers. What's your thoughts, bro?
Man, crazy. It's hard because it's like people want us to allegations are allegations. People want us to they want to say, okay, y'all talk about the R. Kelly, but the Harvey, I wasn't there for none of this stuff. I just got to go what they said, what that court says, whether it's flawed or not, whether they're protecting him because he's a white guy, maybe, I don't know, but I got to go with what they said. Now, do I think personally that the dude's a creep? Yeah. But again, I wasn't there. So, that's wild, but they're going after him for something else, but I don't know, that's crazy.
This is a clear case of, okay, we heard a lot of the testimony from a lot of the actresses, Selma Hayek, Uma Thurman, Ashley Judd, disgusting allegations. And you could see this happening. These are things that we've heard numerous times in Hollywood. Hollywood is a very, very closed off market, and they have control over what they put out. And you got disgusting men out here, disgusting women out here, various whatever. And if you have a person in position of power and they want something, they could pretty much do what they want. They're going to get it. And if you're in a position, and I've lived out in LA, I know how hard it is to live in LA. And if you get really, really desperate and you want to be in a position because it's A, going to feed your family or feed you, or B, put you down and tear your career up, never to do this again, you 9 times out of 10 going to take that chance. And if you sitting there and you got somebody's dirty, what's in your face,
right? And
you got a decision to make. It's like if you're an actress or something like that, I'm not saying it's justified, but you got to ask yourself what you would do as a female position trying to be in that role. And this is a lot what you've seen in the 90s and the 2000s, where he got away with a lot of this shit, and he needs to be tried. Everything needs to come out. He needs to be treated exactly like Bill Cosby was treated, because you have a lot of hearsay in the Bill Cosby case. You have a situation where he said he admitted of giving Quaaludes, but you have situations where Quaaludes were accepted back in the 60s and everybody did it. And these women were loving him back then, and now they have something totally different now. So everything was on hearsay. Yet this man's about to spend possibly the remaining years of his life in jail. If you treat him like that, you must treat Weinstein, Spacey, whoever the fuck else exactly the same. If you have more evidence, you have to treat him worse. And it looks like you have more. So
that's just the country we live in. We see
favors.
And now when we talk about this type of stuff, when they bring the so-called, when they say race card in it, this is what we talk about. You know what I mean? When you have all these people who, years ago, and Bill Cosby gets, tried, convicted, and you got your man, who Weinstein, who has all these prominent actresses that come out and they do nothing. To me, that's crazy, and it just shows the double standard, in America. And you wonder why I say, y'all always bitching and complaining because it's legitimate.
Facts. Oh God, let me change subject real quick, or change gears. We're gonna drop this video, right? Harvey Weinstein. We're gonna put the headline up. Is it gonna get a lot of views, in your estimation, your opinion? Is this video and Harvey Weinstein gonna do?
Probably not.
Probably not. What does that say to us? Because we get so much criticism. I bet so much criticism, but then it doesn't get the attention that so many people want. So why?
First of all, I don't think people really care about Harvey like that. Either they don't care, they don't know. He doesn't resonate with our particular, demographic. And maybe other channels it may, pop off, but ours is they just don't care about him. you know, and I think a lot of it, because we can, you know, us as blacks and minority, we can relate more to R. Kelly, his music. We came up on his music, and it's a part of us that kind of want to see, like, you know, how you want to see like the fighting, like the love and hip hop, or the controversy and the beef. It's a lot of us that kind of want to see that or hear about the details of what happened. We like that stuff. It just is what it is. Oh shit, this dude goes in on him. Oh, he revealed this information. People want to hear that. They want to get the tease, what they call it.
They love the negativity,
they
man.
Love the negativity.
They love it.
Yep.
They love it all the way through. It is not going to get a lot of attention. And I don't know. It's like in one end, you want us to talk about it, and we're going to do the news, and we're going to do it correctly. And we're not just going to be on here because we're going to give views on talking about R. Kelly and give on our perspective. This is why we do it. No, we want to be raw, real, and cut about everything. But we tend to stick to our culture because this is what's lacking out here in the mainstream media. This is what they wanted. This is what we wanted desperately. This is what we seek. So we took it upon ourselves to disseminate our culture's information as best we can. Now, our culture's information doesn't always exclude white, Puerto Rican, Asian, Italian, any race, but we're going to stick to the culture of hip hop, stick to the culture of black, stick to the culture of Spanish, stick to our culture. It is what it is. So when you look at a Harvey Weinstein, although we're going to talk about it and we've talked about it before and we don't get the views, you can't be mad at us if you don't hear it every single time we talk about a R. Kelly or talk about Michael Jackson or talk about a situation in our culture. You can't be mad at that.
More, like I said, man, like talking about Harvey Weinstein, we just got more, you know, content with R. Kelly. We know it more. We came up with R. Kelly, so it's more insight that we can give on that. We can't really give too much on Harvey Weinstein. You know what I mean? That, you know, explains it a little bit better with us. But, you know, that is what it is. Yeah, man. Another episode of the Uncensored Truth podcast, all the way in the books today, man. Tomorrow night, make sure y'all tune in at 8 p.m. on Hip Hop News Uncensored every Friday night at 8 p.m. for our live podcast, man. Also, make sure y'all go into the description box or whatever channel that you're gonna watch us on. Make sure y'all go follow on Instagram, our Twitters, go to the website, man, and all that. We appreciate everybody who's listening on the podcast. That's all I got, man.
Indeed, indeed. Looking forward to tomorrow, the live edition of the Uncensored Truth podcast, exclusively on Hip Hop News Uncensored. We'll have the phone lines open for the people, all the people that's been commenting, asking questions. If you want to get involved, engage with your boy Sandman, oh God, tune in tomorrow. Get the phone number. Holla at your brothers, man. We're very excited, as always, to give you nonstop content. Hashtag Content Kings in the building. For our Hip Hop News Uncensored, the Uncensored Truth podcast, another Thursday night in the books. We out of here, man. Peace.
It's only one Mo.